to my cluttered garage. I'm really glad you're here. A place where we can laugh and talk and days are filled with cheer. The clouds and sun may come and go, but one thing's always clear. Welcome back, my friend. You know I'm really glad you're here. Yeah.
Welcome back, my friends. I'm glad you're here. Today's Monday, October 13th, 2025. This is live stream number 215. And I am looking for something on my screen. I don't know. Anyway, I was looking to make sure that the mic was on because I had clicked it off. Regardless, here I am. Everything's turned on. We're good. It's good to see you. It's another Monday evening. It is mid-October, the Ides of October. I know there's the Ides of March, but do you ever use that on any other month? Or is it just for March? Well, thanks for being here. If it's your first time here, know that we talk about things related to the channel here, which is, as you saw on the thumbnail, tractors, wood, metal, dirt, those kind of things. I came up with that years ago when I started the channel. This is one of the stickers that we're going to give away later. But that little, I guess you wouldn't call it a slogan. I don't know, but tractors, wood, metal, dirt, that stuck when I first started it. And it still works today because, I work with tractors here on the property. We cut firewood, done some welding, some metal projects, and of course, dirt, always working with dirt. So that's what we talk about here on the live stream, along with other things totally unrelated to that, like sometimes our favorite movies or TV shows and favorite foods, because this is a live stream where anything goes. I never make videos about that stuff, but this is just a time to get together and say hi to one another. Speaking of saying hi, if this is your first time joining the live stream, maybe you just became a follower of the channel on Facebook, or maybe you just subscribed to the channel on YouTube, or maybe you saw something on TikTok and then you jumped on over here to YouTube or Facebook and have discovered this live stream. So if it is your first time here, and if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, well, you have to be. That's the only place you can watch. If you're watching live, you can say hi in the live chat comment so that we can welcome you, because this is a highly interactive live chat. I'll be reading through the comment section and answering questions. If you have questions, which, by the way, if you do, remember, post your question this way with the word question followed by your question. And then anyway, speaking of YouTube and Facebook, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. And we do this every Monday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for just 1 hour and 1 hour only. Sometimes there's a live stream guest, like, for instance, next week, which will be October 20th. Yes. Pretty confirmed that Jake from ITC Quick Attach will be joining me here next Monday, which happens to be the day before the Equip Expo. So I'll be heading out for the Equip Expo that next day. But Monday evening, the 20th of October, Jake from ITC Quick Attach, I've invited him here so he can talk about this big giveaway that he has set up through his company. Some other companies are participating. I talked about it a little bit last week. I want to talk about it a little bit more here at the front end in case anybody drops off this live stream. Go to ITC Quick Attach's website, which I believe is itcquickattach.com, and check out the sweepstakes that they're doing. It's a very big giveaway, like $4,500 worth of winnings, multiple giveaways, not just one giveaway. There's a number of steel chainsaws they're giving away. There's I believe a log ox, and of course ITC Quick Attach equipment. A lot of good stuff. So check out the website and sign up for that. There is no I guess, no restriction for signing up. You will be asked to fill out a questionnaire when you sign up for that. And it is I don't know that you have to even fill out the questionnaire, but ITC Quick Attach is trying to create open dialogue with the community of compact tractor users. And it will help them develop products. It will just help them know what the needs are in the industry. So if you fill out the form when you enter, I know that it will be greatly appreciated. They are not harvesting your information to sell it or anything like that, so don't worry about any of that. Jake's a stand-up guy with a stand-up company, and again, he'll talk about that next week. But for now, you can go to itcquickattach.com, sign up for this giveaway, and then what we're doing, a final part of that, is going to be on Monday, November 10th, which is the second Monday in November. Jake's going to join me again here, and we're going to do a giveaway unrelated to the big giveaway, but it's sort of like a finale with a bunch or some Yeti products. I don't know if there's anything else with that, but there will be Yeti products, and there'll be a giveaway strictly for this live stream. So there may be a lot of new people. We have the same 50, 60, 70 people on here every week, and I love that because this is our time. But we're going to have to let some other people in on that Monday, people who may not have been here before. We will welcome them, and that giveaway will be done just like the sticker giveaway that we do here every week. We'll enter it, we'll do a random drawing, and somebody will win that night. The other giveaway, I forget how Jake's going to handle that, but that's why I want to have him on here so he can talk about that. But stay tuned for that for sure. And let's look at some comments because I see lots of people here this evening. I'll scroll up to the very beginning and welcome Bob Pers as commenter number 1 this evening, and our buddy Ross on the land. Ross and our fellow Canadians, happy Thanksgiving to you. I don't think I knew that Canada had a Thanksgiving holiday until a couple of years ago. I was that ignorant. But by having this YouTube channel, it has opened me up to the world, and I've learned so much about people. Anyway, for our Canadian friends, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving to you. RCAF, Polar Express, David, another Canadian. Good to see you. And our buddy Hunter. How you doing, Hunter? Hope you're having a good time in school, and please say hi to all your teachers for me. I mean, not literally all of them, but, Mr. Rob and Miss Kim and the ones that we've communicated with. You have good people out there. So hello to you, Mikey0011, and a lot of conversations. Joseph, good to see you. Chris from the Watershed Overlook, you probably, if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you probably saw a photo of me standing with the one and only Chris from the Watershed Overlook, because we were side by side this weekend. Chris, it was great to see you. And Chris is wolfing down the second half of a giant cheesesteak sub. Guess where he got that? Right here in New Jersey. Not a Philly cheesesteak, but I feel like cheesesteaks where we live here, because we're 45 minutes away from Philadelphia. This is the Philly region. All of our news comes from Philly. Local TV stations are Philly stations. This part of the state tends to support the Phillies and the Eagles, where North Jersey is whatever teams are up there. I'm sports impaired, but there is a dividing line between North and South Jersey, and you got sort of the Philly supporters in the southern part of the state and the New York supporters in the northern state part of the state. And then there's supposed to be a central Jersey, which it does exist too, but the lines are not very well delineated. At any rate, we are Southern New Jersey, and Philly is our nearest major metropolitan city, I'd say. At any rate, enjoy that cheesesteak, Chris. That was a big one, wasn't it? For sure. Tap that Sugar Shack. Good to see you. Hey, Michigan Off-Grid Adventures. You have been away. It's good to see you back. Hope you're doing well. And, oh, Randy got your M6060 Kubota today. That's a big one. Congratulations. That's exciting. That might be too big for me. I mean, for my needs, not, I'd like to have a big tractor. I had one. Remember that big John Deere I had temporarily? It was crazy. Benny. Hi, Linda. Benny, are you still watching, Benny? It is 7. Linda posted this comment at 7:02, and now it's 7:11. So maybe Benny's still watching. Anyway, Benny, how you doing? Benny is my little nephew. He's a good kid. William, good to see you. Margaret, who also saw Chris, and Ann. Is Ann watching with you, Chris? I don't think I knew that Ann watched, but maybe is Ann a cyber stalker, Chris? She's just watching from behind your shoulder? I don't know. Anyway, Kevin, good to see you. I'm just looking for any standout comments. John, thank you, John. Super chat, John. Thanks very much. All right, and Margaret appreciates details. We know that. All right. I'll just sit here and I'll just read the comments to myself and laugh as I go through. Yes, we are an MCG family here tonight. Thank you, Chris. I knew I could count on you when I was talking about the ITC Quick Attach. Go to the comment section. You'll see Chris shared the link, the direct link, not just to the website, but to the sweepstakes. Looks like it's a specific website, itcsweepstakes.com. So there you go. Thanks again, moderator extraordinaire. Okay. Oh, yeah, the cheesesteak had provolone. At your request. Productive Recreation, Craig, good to see you. Oh, you can catch the live stream. Awesome. Very awesome. Jeff. Okay. Ann might be listening from the Lady Lair. Nice. All right. At any rate, questions, whatnot, let me know. Again, Equip Expo is coming up. I know that some of you have mentioned you're going to be there. Some fellow content creators are going to be there. John, I didn't see John on tonight, but he's going to be there. It's a fun time. So I'll say again, if you are within travel vicinity of Louisville and you can get to the Equip Expo, it's a good time. A lot of compact tractors and things like that. It's a show that was really initially designed for like landscaping contractors, and it still caters mostly to them, but a lot of crossover for small farms and rural property owners. I guess that's redundant, but large property owners, I guess I'd say. A lot of good stuff there. And again, it was sort of a YouTube content creator mecca where it was just neat to see other creators there. So that's sort of a side thing. You got the show, which might be a little more geared for landscapers, But then you got the YouTubers and content creators who go just to hang out, and we all come together. So it's a good time. It's a very good time. Question about the nor'easter. Yeah, there is a nor'easter coming through. We did not get hit. It's been overcast and rainy, start and stop. Today was just drizzly and ugly, but we did not get hit with anything significant. There was some wind out there today. Question about the carport. That thing is fine. That holds up just fine. It's very sturdy. It's got, right now, still has 3 sides open, so wind kind of blows right through it. But it's not, you know, it's sturdy. It's not like it's not like the Harbor Freight portable garage, which is kind of a tent. The Harbor Freight portable garage does its job. I liked it. As you know, I made several videos about it back at the other property. It finally gave in to a storm, and luckily I had bought the extended warranty. So if you do buy that Harbor Freight portable garage, I would recommend getting the extended warranty. Bought the extended warranty, which I think gave it 3 years, because I thought, I can't imagine this lasting 3 years. And it was in that 3rd year that it died on me, and it bent up the frame. And anyway, they honored the warranty. All I had to bring back was the bent elbow, just to prove that it was bent. You don't have to return the whole thing, although I probably would have just as soon returned the whole thing, because then I had to throw it all away. But I returned it. I got a brand new one in the box, pretty much no questions asked. So it's a good warranty. I did not set that up here at the farm. When we first moved here, I thought, I'm not going to set that up. Ended up selling it at a yard sale at a heavily discounted price. And now that I sold it, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I could have found a place to put that just to have it here. Whatever. It's fine. I got my time out of the other one. I got my money's worth out of it. I got most of my money back when I sold the replacement. So no complaints here at all. Oh, Miss Jennifer's here. Good to see you. Coming here on a school night. That's so nice. Phil from Peterson Farms. I think I'll see Phil at the Equip Expo. Yes, I do. I think there was a question here, too. I'm going to go back. I'm going to scroll back a bit. Chris, I have not seen. I saw the thumbnail for Neil's new piece of huge equipment, but I did not see the video yet. Oh, good. Randy will be there this year at the expo. Missed it last year. All right. Well, track me down. Track me down. I'll be walking around. Got some competition going on here. Kevin saying orange is the only correct color for a tractor. Well, are you saying Kubota or Coyote, because they're both orange, or does it not matter? Either one, as long as they're orange. I do like the orange color, but I'm not committed to it. So, all right. I have one more. There we go. Got it. All right. So again, if you have questions, post your question in the live chat. And that question can be for me, or it can just be a question in general. Maybe you have a question about your compact tractor. Here's one. When did I put my last video out? It was midweek last week, so we haven't talked since I put out the last video, because that was Thursday. So Thursday, I released a 5-minute video. Did you see it? Thursday, I released a 5-minute video, and it was sort of a little safety PSA about not running your tractor. And I've talked about this before, with the front end loader all the way up to the top. I've got this. There's the video. It's only not even 6 minutes long, so you can look for that video if you've not watched it yet. That video is just me talking out in the field. I can kind of recap it right here so you don't even have to watch it, but I'd like you to watch it anyway. If you haven't seen it, go click on it. And even if you just let it run in the background, it helps me. And then if you click the thumbs up on the video, that helps me too. Then if you make a comment, that helps me too. So it's all engagement. The algorithm sees that. Anyway, you could see based on that thumbnail what it's about, right? You could see the picture there with the front end loader raised all the way up. And what I talked about was that I had been driving and I drove past a guy and he was mowing, and it was like a subcompact tractor, which is even smaller than mine. And he's mowing and he's got that front end loader raised all the way up. And I get it. As I said in the video, I get that it gets that bucket up and out of your way. Now you don't have to worry about hitting something in front of you when you're making turns. You know, that it's cumbersome to have that big bucket sticking out the front. But it makes those tractors top heavy. That's the point of that video, is when you raise that bucket above the hood, as long as it's below the hood, I think you're much safer. Once you raise that bucket above the hood, your center of gravity is obviously shifting up, and that tractor gets really top heavy. And if one of your wheels goes into a little hole, you could go right over. You see it very often if you're a member of a Facebook group, for instance. Like I'm in some Kubota, well, several different tractor manufacturers: Coyote Group, Kubota Group. I think there's an LS group I'm in, TYM. But these groups, if you follow, sometimes a person will share their loss with you and show a picture of their tractor laying on its side because whatever happened, they tipped over. And even if your loader is not up like that, these tractors are very narrow and top heavy, and it happens all the time. So my safety PSA was keep that loader as close to the ground as you can, wear your seatbelt, and be careful. Just be aware. Be aware of your surroundings. So here's a question for you, the viewers, if you're willing to share. Have any of you tipped over a tractor? Have you ever had that experience? I've come close. I know a lot of you have come close because we all talk about the pucker factor, and it has happened to me several times. And I mean, one time I was even on video. When I played the video back, it didn't look as extreme as it felt because I thought I was going over, but it was exactly what happened. The front wheel hit a hole, and I thought I was going over. It happens. So if you're willing to share, tell us in the comments if you have tipped over a tractor and maybe what the situation was. And you can testify to the group that this happens in an instant. You think you'd have time to correct. I think the other thing is we panic. And that's natural. You know, if you don't panic, then you're pretty amazing. But, you know, if your loader is up, even if it's within reason, and you start to go over, if you think ahead, you'd say, oh, I would just drop the loader. I would just lower the loader. When something starts to go wrong, we panic, we freeze, we get confused, and I think that happens. Yep. So Bob is saying his neighbor up the road does it all the time. Tell your neighbor to watch the video, Bob. He keeps waiting for him to tip it over. Yeah, and I'm not one to stop and tell somebody you shouldn't do that. Maybe it would be nice just to give them a heads up, but people don't like to be told. People don't like to be corrected. I don't like to be corrected. I've been corrected, and right away you kind of get defensive, like, whoa, you know, like even if you're right, I don't want you to correcting me. But we do see it. We do see it. Thank you, Randy. question. Chris can answer this for you because he was here. Is his garage really cluttered, or is that just a gimmick hook he uses for the channel? It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It was bad at the other house, and then we moved everything from that house into the barn here, and we keep saying we're going to throw everything away and start from scratch, but we don't. And it just, I'm going to get it cleaned out, but it's, yeah, it is. But it's not a gimmick. If you're not familiar with the channel, I named the channel My Cluttered Garage because at the time I thought it was relatable. And I also thought that in a cluttered garage, or in a garage at all, but there are a lot of things that happen in a person's garage. Projects, amassed hardware. I thought that it would be sort of an umbrella for the channel that I could do whatever content I wanted, because in somebody's garage you can find anything in the garage. So that was the premise of creating the channel. I didn't know where this channel was going to go because I wasn't that focused, and YouTube was new to me. I mean, obviously I was familiar with YouTube, but publishing on YouTube was relatively new to me. So now I think if I were to start another channel, it would be very focused on what the subject matter is of that channel, and I would try to name it very appropriately. Some channels are easy to name. Like if you know you're going to do a fishing channel and it's Ted's Fishing Channel, well then it's very telling of what that channel is about. So it kind of works. People seem to like the name of this channel, and they often say they can relate to it. But I think even an immaculate garage can relate to all the different stuff. There's something there. Probably spiderweb from walking through the woods. Bob, Bob's right. With if you want to get a little more maneuverability out of your tractor when you're mowing, you can take the bucket off. If you have a quick attach bucket, which many tractors now have, the SSQA or the John Deere JDQA quick attach bucket, you can remove the bucket and just have the loader frame, and that's going to give you a lot more space. And even my tractor has the quick attach loader frame. I can take that whole loader frame off really in minutes. Probably I bet you in less than 5 minutes, I could take the whole front end loader off the tractor. I don't do it because what I found is that when mowing or anything else, I need that weight on the front. And I don't have, if I had some suitcase weights for the front, I could take the loader off and then put weights on the front. But I've taken the loader off, and then when I pick up the flail mower or whatever on the back, now the front of the tractor is so light I can't steer with it. So I need the weight of that loader on the front. But definitely taking the bucket off, and I've done that. Like a perfect example is I have an area where I rototilled close to a fence line. Now the bucket is 5 feet wide on my tractor. The tractor is only 4 feet wide. So by taking the bucket off, I can nudge the tractor closer to the fence when I want to rototill and not worry about that bucket if I make a little bit of turn, not hitting a fence post or hitting the fence. So taking just the bucket off is very helpful. And a lot of times I think we don't do it just out of laziness. As easy as it is to take that bucket off, we just don't do it. I don't do it. So Bob has come close a few times. Flipped a garden tractor over backward. Wow, that's significant. Oh, there's Brian. Thanks for being honest here. Tipped mine over in the driveway. Slid backward in the snow and went sideways. Yeah, you slide back, goes sideways, right over. And it is dangerous. It really is. The newer tractors are not as dangerous because of the ROPS, but it's still very dangerous. And yes, Brian, safety wise, it's dangerous to operate a tractor with kids in your lap. And I did it for years. In fact, uh, I was this was 30 years ago. I was had a John Deere 2020 with a blade on the back, and it didn't have a front end loader. It didn't have power steering, but it was a great tractor. But it wasn't good for a whole lot more than just the blade on the back. I didn't have any attachment. I had a mower for it, but no tillers or anything like that. But I had a blade on the back, and I used that mostly for grading the driveway. And I remember one year I was snow plowing the driveway. And did I ever tell you this about our child? I was snow plowing, and I had our little second to youngest on my lap. He was at the time probably 6 years old, and he would sit on the tractor with me, and I was pushing snow, and it's crazy because you're going backwards. You're looking behind you with the snow, and I've got him on my lap, and we're just pushing the snow. And that I remember I was going forward, I believe it was, and the blade snagged on something, and it just stopped that tractor dead. Like it just jerked. And I still remembered that he was on my lap and got thrown forward, and I can still picture his little snowsuit that I was able to grab. I think I can even picture the straps on the snowsuit because I remember grabbing him and just pulling him back like that because he was heading right down, and the tire's right there too, So I grabbed him and pulled him back, and that was a lesson for me at that time. I don't believe I ever did that again because it was a lesson of how quickly that can happen because it was kind of frightening. It was one of those things where it happens so quickly, you don't get frightened until afterward when you start thinking about it and realize what just happened. But it was just that quick. He went forward. I grabbed him with one hand. You have that parental superpower when something like that happens, and you just pulled him right back. And I don't think he even knew what happened. So, but we laugh now, but it's not funny. Kids get hurt all the time, and it's just not a great idea. Chris has a story to share. I have not tipped, but almost. First time I used a tractor, I was continually driving with a full bucket at full height. Chris loaded a 30-foot dumpster. Didn't know better. Got lucky. Yeah, very lucky you didn't, for sure. All you need to do is get one little warning, and you say, uh-oh, that's scary. So, I'm sorry, I guess your channel is Michigan Off-Road Adventures. It's like my off-grid adventures, but it's Michigan, I think the MI is for. Honestly, do you wear a seatbelt on a tractor? I never have, and wondered if I'm alone. That's very honest of you to share that. So, to honor your honesty, I will be honest as well and tell you that I don't always wear a seatbelt, but I will say that I do when I know that I'm in a little precarious situation, like other than flat ground. Like we have a very hilly property here in the woods, and I've been back there mowing and doing some dirt work. So if it's not a flat surface, I do throw that seatbelt on. And I'll be honest, having it on, I feel better. I feel more secure having it on. So it's one of those things like a habit, like any habit. I should do it all the time, but I don't. The other thing with a tractor is you are constantly on and off. At least I am. You're stopping, you're hopping off, doing things. So it's hard to remember to do that. But I've gotten used to it in vehicles. When I first started driving in the 80s, nobody wore seatbelts. That wasn't a thing. I think it became a law in the 90s, which is a good law, But I actually started wearing a seatbelt before it was cool to wear seatbelts. I started wearing one because we had a good friend who was very adamant about it, and he showed us a video about it, like not like a gory video, but just a guy talking about the importance of it. So I just started wearing it, and once you do it, you feel vulnerable without it. You feel uncomfortable not having it. You get used to it. At first, when you start wearing it, it's like, this is uncomfortable, but then after you have it, it's like wearing a hat. Like you first put the hat on, and you can tell you have a hat on, but then later you forget you have a hat on, and then if you take your hat off, you feel like you still have a hat on. At any rate, I do wear it, but not all the time. But I do use the seatbelt. And I was going to say I do keep my ROPS up all the time, but I also have a canopy. So my ROPS are not conducive to being folded because I'd have to remove the canopy, which is removable without any tools, but still it's cumbersome, and I don't remove the canopy. So my ROPS are always up. And oh yeah, so you have an old tractor without ROPS, without a seatbelt, and the old tractors, not this, you got to work with what you have, but those old tractors really are dangerous. There are some videos out there. I did a whole video about this one time several years ago. So this video was just like a little update video, just to put it back out there. But I did a very involved video years ago where I talked about the statistics of tractor accidents and tractor deaths, and most of them are caused by rollovers. And the old tractors had no ROPS, so if a tractor rolled over, it's just landing on top of you. It's horrible to talk about. It really is, but it happens. It really happens. So thanks, Chris, for not throwing me under the bus. It's pretty cluttered, but in a good way. Yeah, thanks for making that. It's not in a good way. It's not. It's garbage in there that has to get out. Your garage is a disaster. I would call ours a disaster in places, but I'm getting there. And Linda's comment from Ed: most people don't wear a seatbelt, but the cab will keep you contained. Yeah, I think that's true to an extent. I think that's true. I think you're still better off to be in a seatbelt, because with the cab, even you still could get crushed in the corner of the cab and whatnot. I mean, it's just like a car. Your car keeps you contained, but you still want to be in that safety zone. But I would guess that a cab is safer than an open station. Maybe that's something to talk about, but I think so. All right. I'm just looking at comments here. Good point. Outdoor adventurer with a Coyote CX2510 have found that the heavily weighted ballast box on the 3-point hitch creates a much more stable tractor, especially when using the loader. Most definitely, you want to have, if you have a front end loader, you need to have ballast. My tractor has liquid filled tires, and then on top of that, I really never use the tractor without something on the back. I don't have a ballast box. I just throw an attachment on. I've found that the best attachment that I use for ballast is the box blade, because it's not real bulky, not real big, but still adds several hundred pounds to the back. So I usually have if I'm going to do loader work, I'll put the ballast or the box blade on the back, and that combined with the fluid filled tires helps very much. But if you have neither, I would say don't use that front end loader without something on the back. And the fluid filled tires definitely, they add, I don't know, 200-300 pounds per tire, I think, on mine. So that's a good amount of ballast. And not that tractors have a nice ride anyway, but I had the tractor for like a week without fluid filled tires. So when I got the tractor when I got the tires filled with fluid, I noticed the tractor rode a lot harder than it did without fluid filled, because when it's just air, air can compress even a little bit, and I think gives you a better ride. But the fluid filled does not compress, so it's a much harder ride. Just notice that. Peterson Farms, Phil uses mows with the forks on so you can move stuff around. Somebody else made a comment about mowing with the grapple on, which I've done that, and the grapple's nice because, again, you can move stuff out of the way. The forks are a little tricky because now you got 3-4 feet sticking out in front of you, so if you're maneuvering, backing up, you could hit a fence post or something like that. So but yeah, it's good to have something on the front so you can move stuff around. But the grapple is a good one for that. I need to do some grapple work. I haven't had that hooked up for a little while, and I do love that grapple. I love me some grapple. So Joseph has a mid-mount mower, so you drop the loader. That makes perfect sense. Very perfect. Very nice. And Hunter has the Ford 776B front-end loader on the tractor on the 4600. Very nice. Okay, and Craig talking about, I'll have to look for Chad's video on that. Chad's been making some videos about his Ford Lightning, and his channel has done very well. Chad does the same kind of content, similar content to what we do here with the tractors and the firewood content, but he also has a F-150 Lightning, and he made some videos on that and did really well. So I guess there's an interest for that, I think. I do. So not too many people admitting that they've tipped over their tractor, or hopefully not many people here have done that. That would be the better thing. Kevin, super sticker. Thanks, my friend. Really appreciate that. That's very generous and very, very, very much appreciated. Really nice. And yeah, Phil's saying loading gravel almost got him without the ballast because he was a newbie and didn't know the ballast was your friend. Ballast is your friend, Phil. You are right about that. Ballast is your friend. And there are still a lot of new tractor owners. I think channels like mine got very popular during the pandemic because, tractor sales were up during the pandemic. People were staying at home, working at home, working on their properties. So I think compact tractor sales really jumped up during the pandemic, and anybody can buy a tractor. Like, there is a lot to learn, and tractors are very easy to use, but if you've never used one, they're sort of a different animal. So there's a lot to learn about it. And again, anybody can buy one. No driving test. So people come to YouTube, hopefully, to learn things. And even when I put out a basic video like the one I did, there are several people who just never thought about that, and they're getting the message, which is great. Which, by the way, that video, for whatever reason, it's my #1 video out of my last 10 videos with lots of views, of twice the views of the one before that. So I think that shows that, well, it shows the algorithm that people are interested in it. So it's that whole ripple effect. Like, if you watch it, if you comment, then the algorithm says, oh, people like this video, so therefore I'll show it to more people. And then people like it, and it shows it to more people. It's like pushing a rock. You got to just get it. Just got to get it rolling. So Tim wears a seatbelt on a tractor if it has one. Very good. Question from BT: who's your handyman? Anyone miss the old cinch tight, like on an airplane? Yeah, I don't. Was that a seatbelt on a tractor? Because I'm not even familiar of that. Money Pit Homestead. How you doing, Don? Will I see you at the expo? I saw you at the Farm Machinery Show. looking at a note here. So Phil does wear seatbelt. That's very good because it's 100% hilly there. Yeah, I'm telling you, when you put it on, you feel better. You just feel better. Just happens. All right, I'm reading. Thank you, Chris, for sharing video number 42, Ed's tractor safety tips. Appreciate that. You can click on that in the link, open it in a new tab, and watch it when this one's over. All right, let me get to the bottom of this so we can give away some stickers. There's a good point. Central New Hampshire, Central NH has 2-inch spacers, rim guard, box blade 90% of the time, stump grinder, too heavy to leave on all the time. Yeah. So I have never really looked into spacers on the tractor, but I don't know why these tractors are so narrow. Like my tractor is, I think, 48 inches to the outside of the wheels. I would like to have 3-inch spacers on each wheel. I think 6 inches would make a big difference. I just have never really looked into it, and it seems like it would be an easy thing to do. I don't have a mid-mount mower. That's the one of the things, I guess, that would keep you from going wider with your back wheels, because I think there's probably some rollers that your back wheels might hit if you widen them. But if you don't have a mid-mount mower, I don't see why not have a wider tractor. Why not, right? But yeah, I just have not looked into it. Yep. And Wade has felt like you've gotten really close to tipping it. Yeah, that's the pucker factor. That's it. Yeah, good point. I watched dozens of hours of video before buying a tractor. That helped me with the one to buy and how to use it safely. That's good homework. You did good homework. A lot of people don't do that. I mean, I did that. As you may know, I chose the B2601 because I saw it on Gord's channel from GP Outdoors. That's where I was first introduced to the B2601, and I thought that looks like a good tractor. But still, since I had some tractor experience, I was probably a little arrogant in like, I don't need any training. I know exactly what I'm doing. Like, I'll figure it out. You know, being as macho as I am, I'm like, don't talk to me about safety. I'll put safety in its place. Wow, a few tractor operator classes being offered in North Carolina. Now, that's very forward thinking, and I think that's a great thing. Really nice. Nice idea. Thanks again for the reminder to hit the like button. I appreciate that. And good, start using your seatbelt tomorrow. Yeah, you'll be happy. Oh, there's an honest answer from Richard. I rolled over an old farmall over a strip mine. Went slow, jumped off, and ran with the tractor following me. Had the bucket too high. Yeah. And is that the old farmall with the narrow front wheels? Or I guess some of the farmalls had wider wheels. Still, either way. Good thing it went over slow and you ran. I mean, that's the way to do it. It happens. Question: have I lit the stove up yet? Not yet. Came close, but haven't lit it yet. Oh, because we turned the heat on. There was one night it was chilled, and I fired up the furnace, the boiler, and used some petroleum instead of some firewood. Wade, what's my heaviest rear implement? The heaviest one I have is the Baumolite 3-point hitch mounted mulching head. That thing is 1,000 pounds, and my tractor's too small for it. It's a lot of weight back there. It's a lot. I don't know what my tiller weighs, but I think that Baumolite is the heaviest. No problem picking it up, but you can tell just when you're moving around. It's just a lot. For sure. Okay, I'm getting caught up here. Yep. Okay. So, wait. Right. You know what that music means? It's sticker time. Sticker time, which means during this live stream on Facebook or YouTube, if you're watching live, you can enter to win these 2 stickers. The way you'll do that, if you've not seen this before, is I will share a word or a phrase on the screen. You'll type the word or the phrase in the live chat exactly the way you see it. Could be uppercase, could be lowercase, doesn't matter. No spaces. Type the word or phrase that you see, and then we'll randomly draw somebody when this song wraps up. So in honor of Canadian Thanksgiving, hashtag turkey. Again, hashtag no space turkey. You can use uppercase, you can use lowercase. Doesn't matter. If you enter more than once, your extra entries will be thrown out by the system. So no need to enter more than once. It's not going to help you. See that? Olmsteader. I like that. Oh, there's an M in front of your turkey. You better change that. Margaret got it. Richard did it, all caps. Excellent. Magnify. Hashtag turkey. Look at Clever Wade. 1 lowercase, all the rest uppercase. That'll be a good test to see if you win. All right. Well, let's get ready to draw this thing. So get your entries in. You only have a minute or less left. Remember last week I hit it right on cue, and it ended right on the last note. It was perfect. I have to try that again. That's right, Miss Jennifer. It's your chance to win. If you're just tuning in, you have a few seconds left to enter hashtag turkey to win these stickers. Here we go. Hey! All that commenting tonight helped from Michigan Off-Grid Adventures. Congratulations. Here's the next step when you're a sticker winner. You have to email me at contactmcgtv@gmail.com with your name and your postal mailing address in order to get these stickers mailed to you. contactmcgtv@gmail.com, and I'll get these out to you as soon as I can. So, congratulations. Remember, next week, come here to see Jake from ITC Quick Attach. He will talk about this sweepstakes. If you have any questions, get your questions ready for Jake, not only about the sweepstakes, but about ITC Quick Attach, the products they make. If you have ideas for products, they want to hear about them. So come prepared next week with your questions for Jake from ITC Quick Attach. You know what it's going to say there. So, excellent. All right. It's Monday. I hope that you were not hit by the nor'easter wherever you are. I hope you're doing well, and I hope that I hope you have a great week. So thanks again for watching the videos. Go back and watch the latest video if you haven't seen it yet. go back in the library, watch more videos, like our friend Hunter. I think Hunter's watched every video that I put out, and I appreciate that, my friend. So, and stay tuned for a video featuring our friend Chris from the Watershed Overlook along with me. It's a fun one, and it'll come out. I believe that's going to be published on Thursday morning, just like the last one was. So there we go. All right, my friends, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next time.